Hi dear viewers, welcome to another session of Informatics for BA English. In today's session, we are going to discuss about benefits of networking and other topics. Last few classes we discussed about different types of networks, topologies and wireless networks. Let us see what are the different benefits of networking. There are various benefits for using networked system rather than standalone system. What do you mean by networked system? Some systems, if they are interconnected through LAN or internet, then those systems are called as networked system. What do you mean by standalone system then? Standalone systems are the system which is not connected to any other systems. They are stand-alone, right? So there are various benefits for networked system. What are those? First one is computers which are connected through a network can share resources as hard drives, printers, scanners, etc. with each other. When you have a computer connected with internet, and if you want to take a printout, that printer is not installed in your system, that is there in some other systems, you can print by make use of the internet connection or by make use of the shared network connection. So you can share the resources. What are the resources? You can share the files stored in your hard disk. You can share the printer installed in the systems, in any of the system. You can share the scanners which is installed in any of the systems. For example, if you have 20 systems in your office and we have two peripheral devices like scanner and printer, and those devices are installed in one system, so that you can take printout, you can give print job in any of these 10 systems, you will get the printout because that printer and scanner are shared. So likewise, you can share any kind of peripheral devices as well as the files stored in your system. That is one advantage. The second advantage is they can send file from one computer to another very quickly. You can easily transfer files from one computer to another. It is not a tedious task. You can easily transfer. So you can send file from one computer to another quite easily. And what about the third one? Third one is you can connect all the computers which are connected through a network to the internet by using a single line. This we have already discussed. Internet means it's a collection of local area networks, LANs, right? You can connect a group of LANs, or you can connect a LAN connection. You can connect a LAN to an internet with a single line of wire, right? It doesn't require as many wire as much as your network consists of the computers. For example, if you have 10 computers in your LAN network, you don't require 10 wires to connect with the internet. You require only one wire. If you connect that wire to any of the systems, you will get the internet connection from all systems, right? So there you need only one wire. If you connect that into a bus or into a switch, the network device is called a switch, you will be getting the internet to all the systems connected through that switch, right? So here you need a single wire to connect a LAN to an internet. And the fourth benefit is if you want to access data from the other computer which is the part of network, then you can access data from that computer. Not only sending data from your systems, you can access data from other systems as well. if you want to access certain data from other systems which is take part in your network, you can access it, right? If the system permits, you can access it. That is another advantage or benefit. So these are the advantage. One more advantage is that users can run those programs which are not installed on their computers but are installed on any other users' computers. You know that programs are the softwares which actually runs in computer system to do certain tasks. In networked systems, if a program is installed in one system, the same program can be run in other systems as well without installing the software in that system. For example, in your network, A is the first computer and you installed one software in a program in A. B is the second computer and the program is not installed, the same program is not installed in B. But without installing the program in B, you can access the program of A, right? That is one more advantage. You don't need to install all the programs in every systems. Okay, if you install in one system, you can access to all other systems, right? These are the different benefits of networking. Then let us move on to sharing files and printers. How do we share files and printers? How we share the printers? How we share the files? A shared resource or network share is a device or piece of information on a computer that can be remotely accessed from another computer, typically through local area network or enterprise intranet. So what do you mean by a shared resource or network? A shared resource or network share is a device. It's a device or it's a piece of information it's a piece of information on a computer that can be remotely accessed from another computer, typically through local area network or an enterprise intranet. Okay. So here, for example, if I want to share a data from my system to another system, how do I share? If my system is connected to a LAN network or enterprise intranet, I can easily share, right? I can easily share. So the files or any device connected with that computer can be shared is called as a shared resource. Or shared resource is a device or a file which can be shared to another computer through local area network or enterprise intranet. Examples for shared resources are shared file access known as disk sharing or folder sharing. What is disk sharing or folder sharing? When you make a disk or folder as sharing, those disk files and folders files are easily shared. All right. Suppose you copied or you saved some certain files in one folder and those files I need to share. So if I make that folder as shareable so that this folder can be shared by or this folder can be accessed by any other systems in that network, right? And same like folders, you can share the printer as well. Shared printer access known as printer sharing. You can also share scanner, etc. So any shared resources may be file, scanner, printer, camera, anything, any devices you can share. The shared resources is called shared disk, shared drive volume, shared folder, shared file, shared document, shared printer or shared scanner. Shared file and printer access require an operating system on the client that support access to resources on a server, an operating system on the server that support access to its resources from client, and an application layer in the TCP/IP reference model file sharing protocol and transport layer protocol to provide the shared resources. So what are the requirements of sharing the resources? if you want to share a resources, an important software you require in both the systems, that means in the source and destination, is operating system. Without operating system you cannot share. So you have to install operating system on the client machine, as well as you have to install the operating system on the server machine as well. In client machine, it allows you to access share files from the server. On the server machine, the server operating system will control the request from several other computer system, right? And also you need a protocol for sharing the information through the network or internet. You need a protocol. That protocol is called as TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol bar Internet Protocol. That is required, right? That is called as file sharing protocol. And also you need a transport layer protocol to provide that shared access. To give a permission to access the file, you need a transport layer protocol as well. Okay, so these are the required things you need for sharing the files and printers. Now let us move on to networking in an office. Networking in an office. How we are going to network an office? What are the importance of networking in office? You can see that all the offices, most of the offices are interconnected through computer systems nowadays, right? So how we are going to network an office? What are the requirements? What are the things we require to network an office? What do you mean networking an office? If in an office, if there are many systems and all the systems, if you want to connect all the systems together like LAN, you can make it a LAN. That is called as networking in an office. You can see most of the offices are networked. In many of the government offices, private offices, or any organization's offices are connected through LAN, because it is very easy to share the files, very easy to share the very easy to communicate with each other, with each employees to computer systems, right? So most of the offices are networked nowadays. Benefits of computer network can be divided into two basic categories: connectivity and sharing. There are two categories for sharing the for networking the computers. One is connectivity and second is sharing. Networks allows computers and their users to be connected together. What is networks? Networks allows computers and their users. What do you mean computers and their users? All the computers are used by some users, right? So computers and their users to be connected together. You can connect the computers and users can be connected together. That is called as networks. They also allow for the easy sharing of information and resources and cooperating between the devices in other ways. They can also share the information and resources. Resources may be anything. I have told you. It may be printers or scanners or drives or disk, etc. Right? They also allow for the easy sharing of information and resources and cooperating between the devices in other ways. What do you mean cooperating between the devices? If one system is connected with another system, this system should be mutually understand, right? You have to make the connection between the system in such a way that should be properly worked. Okay, so there should be a cooperation between the devices connected in the internet, connected in network. The standard networking technology is Ethernet. The standard networking technology used for networking is Ethernet. Ethernet is the standard networking technology. Ethernet works by means of adapters known as network interface card in each computer. So if you want to connect with internet, if you want to connect your computer with network or other systems, you need a NIC, network interface card, installed in your system, right? So Ethernet works by means of adapters known as network interface card. So there is an adapter called as network interface card. So you can directly connect with Ethernet. The NICs are connected with cables. So if you installed NIC in your computer system, it's a hardware installed in your system, you can directly connect that NIC with cables. Ethernet comes in two flavors. What are the different flavors of Ethernet? Fast Ethernet operates at 100 megabytes per second. 100 megabytes per second. This is a fast Ethernet. It will operate at 100 megabytes per second. Per second, 100 megabytes. Regular or original Ethernet operates at 10 megabytes per second, which is fast enough for LAN. If a LAN network is considered, the second Ethernet is most suitable. It is enough. That is 10 Mbps. It is enough because it's a number of systems are very less in local area network. So 10 Mbps is more than enough for LAN. Okay. Then the coax interface, also known as 10/2 or thin or BNC Ethernet, works with a coaxial bayonet BNC connector on the NIC. I told you once you install NIC in your computer system, you can directly connect with cable. That cable is called as coax cable. There is an interface. That interface is 10/2, or you can say thin, or you can say BNC, right? Ethernet works with a coaxial bayonet, that is called as BNC connector on the NIC. So you have a connector. That connector is called as coax interface. That is also called as BNC. It is also called as BNC. That is there in NIC card. NIC means network interface card. That's a hardware installed in your system to connect with LAN. You connect with other computer system through LAN. Computers are connected together in a daisy chain using BNC T adapter plugged into each NIC. So in each NIC there is a BNC T type adapter, right? So that if you connect through that BNC adapter, it will be like a daisy chain. It will be like a daisy chain. Coax is only available in 10 megabit per second. Coax is only available in 10 megabit per second because coax is used in local area network only. Then the second one is you can use twisted pair interface. You can use either coax cable or twisted pair. The twisted pair interface, also known as UTP, unshielded twisted pair, or 10/T or RJ45, as an RJ45 jack on the NIC. So if you use coax cable, you have to connect through coax interface. If you use twisted pair cable, you have to connect through twisted pair interface. The coax interface is BNC and twisted pair interface is UTP. There is a slot in NIC card. You can plug your coaxial cable or twisted pair cable into that slot, into that port. That port is actually there in NIC card. You can see that in back of your computer system, back of your CPU, right? You can see that at the back of your CPU, or if you use a laptop, you can see a network slot where you can connect your cable. It may be twisted pair cable or coax cable. The RJ45 connectors look similar to the standard telephone RJ11 jack and are used with cables that look similar to standard telephone twisted pair cables to connect the NIC to hub, high-speed modem or router. Okay, it's a kind of connector. It's a kind of connector you can connect to twisted pair cable RJ45. Now let's see advantages of network for home or office. That's it about networking an office. You need you need computer systems, you need cables, you need NIC card. If you have those things with you, you can easily create a LAN network in your office. Advantages of network for home or office. First is file sharing. That is one of the very important advantage of network for home or office, because you can easily share the files. You can easily share files because if one person want to send certain files to another person, if that person is not sit in front of you, he is in he is in third floor, for example, and the person who is sitting in first floor want to send data to third floor, the person sitting in third floor, you can easily share with the computer system, right? That is one of the advantage. And second one is software cost management. What is software cost management? Many software products are available for networks at a substantial savings in comparison to buying individual licensed copies for all of the computers. Upgrading is also easier, and you can buy the software which is actually used in internet networking, and they are they have the purchase amount which is comparatively less. Okay, so anybody can go and buy those softwares. Those softwares are necessary for making a network. Okay, software cost management is fine, you can upgrade it also. And the third one is security. What is security? Specific directories can be password protected to limit access to authorized users. You can secure the files of your computer system by giving the password for the files. Suppose I have to send a file to one of my colleague. I told you he is there in third floor. So if I want to send a file to a person who is sitting in third floor, and I want that file should be secured, he only need to be opened that. So I will share my password as well. I will share the password of that file as well. I will protect that folder with a password, and the same password will be shared with that person as well, so that he can open and use it. Okay, that's about security. And the next advantage is resource sharing. What is resource sharing? All computers in the network can share resources such as printers, fax machines, modems, and scanners. All computers in the network can share the resources. The resources may be printers, fax machines, modems, scanners, mic, etc. Any resources, any peripheral devices or resources can be shared by computer system take part in that network, in that local area network. That is called as resource sharing. Resource sharing is very easy. And the next one is communication. What is communication? Those on the network can communicate with each other through emails over the network system. The persons who are using the computer system in the network can be easily communicated through emails. You can send the emails if you have internet connection with other systems as well. Those on the network can communicate with each other through emails over the network system. That is called as communication. And the next one is flexible access. What is flexible access? Network allows their users to access files from computers throughout the network. That is, a user can begin work on a project on one computer and finish up in another computer, right? So network allow their users to access files from computers through the network. For example, if I started working in one computer system, in local area network, I started working in one computer system, and my work has not completed. I just want to assign the rest of my work to other person. I can just share the file so that he can start with what I stopped, right? He can start with where I stopped. So multiple person can do a project, multiple person can do a work, and each work is stored in different computer systems, right? So all the computer systems are shared so that a work can be done through all the computer systems if you want, right? That is called as flexible access. You can easily access. Then seventh is Work group computing. What do you mean work group computing? Work group software like Microsoft Backoffice enables many users to contribute to document concurrently. It's same like flexible access. You can create the document by creating the work group. If one person started a work group once one person started a documentation, the documentation may be end with the 10th person. That means in between first and 10th person, there are 9 people worked on that document, right? That is called as work group. If you have 10 members in a work group, all the 10 members can do a documentation concurrently. An example of work group is Microsoft Backoffice. Microsoft Backoffice. In Microsoft Backoffice, multiple users can do a document concurrently, right? That is called as work group computing. So these are the advantages of network for home or office. Okay. Next we are moving to networking and internet cafe. So how do we go and network an internet cafe? We know that many of the people are using internet cafe to to share the information. Nowadays internet cafe is very less, because in your mobile itself you can share the data, right? But let us see how we can network an internet cafe. What are the advantages? In the figure you can see there is a there is a server and there are clients. There is a centralized server and there are clients, and through a switch you can connect with all other systems, and there is a Wi-Fi adapter over here to connect with the internet, right? Internet is required in internet cafe for various activities. Unlike other shops, type of shop, internet cafe needs one or more wiring other than electrical wiring, which is network cable wiring. It's not like shop. A shop may consist of only electrical wiring, but here an internet cafe you need another kind of wiring as well, that is called as network cable wiring. A good planning is needed to suit the location of every device in the internet cafe. You need a very good plan for making an internet cafe. Cat5 cable is required for base 10/100 functionality. You need a Cat5 cable to have a connection with other systems, to have a connection with internet. We required Cat5e for gigabyte 1000 base T operation, and Cat6 for higher gives you a measure of future proofing, right? You can use Cat5e or Cat6 according to your reference, according to your need. All PCs have to connect to the switch or hub which are merged as a LAN. You can connect all the PCs to a switch or to a hub which are merged as a LAN, right? Which are merged as a LAN. But it's not working as a LAN. It actually connected to internet. Okay. There are many broadband modem with built-in router out there. You will get a broadband modem with the router installed in that modem. Okay. So by using that modem, you can directly connect with internet. Direct properties should be inserted in the router, such as your username and password. So that will be actually stored in the router, so that you can easily connect with the internet. Most of the modem can be configured through the web browser at any connected LANs. You can configure your modem. Suppose you want to change the username and password, you can easily change by using the browser. There is a window, there is a user interface where you can change the password, you can change the user ID, etc. Right? So most of the modem can be configured through web browser at any connected clients. That's about internet cafe connectivity. Now let us move on to the internet. What is internet? The internet is the global system of interconnected computer networks that uses the internet protocol suite to communicate between network and devices. So far we discussed about local area network, different types of networks, topology, etc. So now let us see what is an internet. Internet, as you know, it's a collection of LAN networks. Collection of local area networks is called as internet. The internet is a global system of interconnected computers, interconnected computer networks that uses internet protocol suite TCP/IP to communicate between network and devices. So what is the protocol used to communicate between network and devices? The protocol is TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol bar Internet Protocol. This protocol is actually used to communicate the systems together. This protocol is used for communication between the systems. So an internet is a global system. It is a global system of interconnected computer networks. So remember, interconnected computer networks, it is actually LAN, right? So it is a global system of LANs that uses internet protocol suite. What is that internet protocol suite? TCP/IP to communicate between networks and devices. It is a network of network that consists of private network, public network, academic, business and government networks of local to global scope, linked by a broadband array of electronic, wireless and optical networking technologies, right? So in internet you may have you can see private networks may be there, public networks may be there, academic networks may be there, business network may be there, government networks may be there. All these networks are connected together. And how we are going to link those networks? We can link through broadband connection, wireless connection, optical networking technologies, etc. The internet carries a vast range of information resources and services such as interlinked hypertext documents and application of the World Wide Web, electronic mail, telephony and file sharing. Same like local area network, we can share the files, and we can see the documents through browser. That is called as linked hypertext documents. Hypertext documents means you can view the information through browser software, right? And applications of World Wide Web. There are many applications for World Wide Web. There are electronic mail. You can send mail through. You can send the mail electronically. And there is a telephony system. There is a file sharing, etc. The origins of the internet date back to the development of packet switching and research commissioned by the United States Department of Defense in 1960s enabled time sharing of computers. So the internet was implemented in 1960s by United States Departments of Defense to share their information, their their important information. If they want to share with other officers of United States Department of Defense, they used this concept, this internet, to share their information, important information, news and events, etc. The primary precursor network, that is called as ARPANET, initially served as a backbone for interconnection of regional, academic and military networks in 1917. So first internet was ARPANET, which is implemented by United States Department of Defense. What is the purpose of that internet? The purpose of initially it served as a backbone for interconnection of regional, academic and military networks. Regional, academic and military networks for sharing their information. The funding of National Science Foundation Network as new backbone in 1980s, as well as private funding for other commercial extension, led to worldwide participation in the development of new networking technologies. This ARPANET is only for locals, that is only for United States Departments of Defense. Later on, they thought that this can be extended so that the others, everybody can share the information through a system, called national system called worldwide system, so that anybody can participate in communication, right? So National Science Foundation Network has funded for this so for this purpose, and they came into they took it as a new backbone in 1980s. The linking of chimerical networks and enterprise by early 1990s marked the beginning of the transition to the modern internet. So that was the beginning of the modern internet in 1990s. The linking of chimerical networks and enterprise. Linking of chimerical networks and enterprise by the early 1990s marked as the beginning of the transition to the modern internet. Most traditional communication media, including telephony, radio, television, paper mail, and newspaper, are reshaped, completely changed, redefined, or even bypassed by the internet. Some traditional communication media has been completely removed, like telephony, radio, television, paper. Nowadays, you know that telephone and radio, paper are they are out of scope right now, because most of the users are using mobile phone to get the information, right? Most of the users are using the internet to get the information nowadays, right? So some of the traditional communication media has been completely gone. You know that radio, nowadays very less people are using radio to get the information, right? Internet telephony, internet television, online music, digital newspapers, and video streaming websites, etc. Those are the most modern communication media. Newspaper, book, and other print publishing are adapting to website technology, or are reshaped into blogging, web feeds, and online news aggregators. They are completely moved into electronic media, right? Newspapers, book, and other print publishing are adapting to website technology, so that they can easily get the people can easily get the information. The internet has enabled and accelerated new forms of personal interactions through instant messaging, internet forums, and social networking services. The internet has enabled and accelerated new forms of personal interactions through instant messaging. Through instant messaging, we can share the information like WhatsApp, internet forums. There are many internet forums available, and social networking services like Facebook, Twitter, etc. So everybody can use internet nowadays. Everybody is having smartphones. They can share the information. They can share their views. There are instant messaging applications like Telegram, WhatsApp, etc. There are social networking services like WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Right? There are internet forums for sharing the data, for sharing the information, for acquiring the information. Not only sharing, for acquiring the information as well. Online shopping has grown exponentially for major retailers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. Online shopping. We can buy, we can go and buy products online. E-commerce websites are available, right? Like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. The internet has no single centralized governance in the technological implementation of policies for access and usage. Each constituent network sets its own policies. There is no, proper, or there is no. It is not going to insist you to, follow certain rules. There is no single centralized governance in the technological implementation. There is no centralized government in either technological implementation or policies for access and usage. There is no centralized governance. Each constituent network sets its own policies, right? The overreaching definitions of the two principal namespace in the internet, the Internet Protocol Address (IP) space and the domain name system, are directed by a maintainer or organization, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers (ICANN). So you have to remember this. When you are using an internet resources, each internet resources is associated with IP and domain, internet protocol and internet protocol address, that is IP address, and a domain name system DNS, right? These are associated. Say suppose you want to access certain files from Google. You type www.google.com. that www.google.com is called as domain, and that domain is associated with an IP address. An IP address is an address of a system where the information is stored, right? Where the information is stored. So IP address and domain is interconnected. The technical underpinning and standardization of the core protocols is an activity of the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, a non-profit organization of loosely affiliated international participants that anyone may associate with by contributing technical expertise. I told you there is no centralized government either in technological implementation or policies for access and usage. So that the technical underpinning and standardization of the core protocol is an activity of the Internet Engineering Task Force. It's a non-profit organization of loosely affiliated international participants that anyone may associate with but by contributing technical expertise. Anybody can contribute their technical expertise to this organization. It's a non-profit organization. It will underpinning and standardizing of the core protocol. And that's it about today's session. If you have any doubts, you can share through comments. Okay, thank you.